Hey, happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is having a great start to their week, and we are in the middle of it, so that's super exciting. Today, I have some fun projects to do with you today. I'm working on a table, and if you guys follow me over on Instagram, you would know that I was burning the tabletop. I'm super excited about that. So I do that a lot. So I just use a torch and with like MAP gas or whatever, and I just kind of char the top of it. Which is really, really pretty, and it gives it a really fun finish. So I only did half. I sanded half of it, and so we're gonna show you guys how to seal that, and I am going to show you how to paint table legs because honestly, I've been getting asked on how to paint table legs because they're just kind of tricky. So I thought I would go over that and just have like a little table tutorial with you guys. Forgive me, I have a frog in my throat this morning. So, as you guys are popping on, say hello. Let me know you're here. So I'm not on an island all of my own. All right. So again, what I did is I took a torch and I charred half of it, which you can see the half that's darker. And then I sanded with my Festool with the 220 and just took back some of that char. And it is going to leave some like residue. That's inevitable. You can't like get it all off. So we're going to seal it in. And so what I like to use, these are my favorite. I use them for everything. I use them to stain. I use them to wax. I just really love them. They are the Dixie Belle applicator pads. Oh, I forgot to get gloves. I wear gloves for everything just because I just don't like to get things on my hands. So that is completely up to you. You are more than welcome to use whatever you want. You don't have to. You can. Whatever makes you happy. All right, let me get like next to this giant table so I can show you guys what I'm doing. All right, so what we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna be sealing this tabletop. And what I'm gonna be using is the Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax and Clear. And why I like to use that when I do this is it gives it like a really soft finish. And it's really beautiful. And the wax is actually pretty durable as long as you're not putting anything hot on it or like carving on it or anything like that. But you wouldn't do that with any of the top coats. Like, yes, Gator Hide is the strongest and it's waterproof. But even then, like when you're refinishing a tabletop, you just don't think that people are going to take a fork and drag it across it. So it's going to put damage on no matter what. So that's frowned upon. And what we're going to be doing is putting on my gloves. So yesterday was so beautiful here today in North Carolina, and I actually got to go fishing. And by fishing, I mean lay out at the lake while my son fished. So that was really nice. It was just a really relaxing day. Today it is not so nice out here. It's very cloudy and gloomy, which is fine. That just means I'm going to work all day long, so I'll be productive. All right, so again, we are going in with Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax in Clear, and I'm using the Dixie Belle applicator pad. And we're just going to go right in. You are going to see, like I just said, you're going to see some of this come off on your pad. That is okay. I'm going to start up here just because I only want to do half because I'm going to film the other half for content because that's what I do. And you can already see how it like nourishes it and it seals in what you're trying to see. It comes off on your pad, so that's fine. We're just sealing that in. And it just gives it like a really soft, pretty finish. I like the soft touch that it gives, like that real, like, I don't know, I'm big on feel. Like, I like all my furniture to feel like nice, right? Like, you want to touch it and go, ooh, come here, feel this. And then people are like, ooh, yeah, let's feel it. And then you want to buy it because it feels really pretty. It doesn't feel like a regular table, it's really, really soft. So, and I do that with all of my furniture. I try not to paint the tops of my furniture. I just prefer a wood top on my furniture. It's got wax on my knee. I like that look and I like that feel. I like the paint with the wood. I feel like it gives it more of like an organic look. And I have decided that I'm going to be painting the legs of this table in the silk all-in-one paint, which is one of my favorites. It's one of my go-tos. Okay, I'm just getting this edge. And you can already tell the difference. Like you can see how like it's just vibrant, right? It seals in all that goodness. Just looks really good. And again, if you're just popping on, I burned half of this table with a torch and then I sanded the rest of it, this half, with 220 just to kind of take back a little bit of that char. Here we go. We're just gonna go ahead right on in, making this guy look really beautiful. I love this look. I do this. I burn a lot of my furniture when possible. There's certain woods that show better than others. Definitely with tables like this, you definitely can get away with it. It's just a very rustic vibe. I really love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. All right. And the Dixie Belle wax is a perfect product that I use on top of this. I will only go over this once with this wax. If I feel like I need to go over it more than that, I can, absolutely. But I do put a good bit on there, and with the applicator sponge, it helps buff it in. So let me just switch on over here to the other side. And we're just gonna grab over here. Now this table does have a few leaves in it. Leaves, I don't know how you wanna say that. I'm live. It's YouTube. My son's right there. He's like, hello. He's home from school. He's out for the summer. All right. Yeah, well, I guess like part of his summer. He's in year round, so he doesn't get like the full traditional calendar summer. He gets 4 weeks, which is more than enough because I feel like after 10 weeks, that's a long summer. That's a long time. All right, so I'm just going to grab over here, grab my little edge, and you can see how pretty she looks. Is your furniture masculine or feminine? You ever do that? Like she or he or whatever? I don't name my furniture. I know a lot of people do. I know I'm right in your way. I'm sorry. Some people name their furniture. Sometimes I do. Like, but then I feel funny. I'm like, meet Bruce. He's this masculine vibes. Like, I feel like I'm like he's contestant number 5 on the dating show or something like that. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a big namer. I'm like, here's this beautiful rustic table. I don't know. I feel weird. Anyway, I'm just making sure, going over it just a little bit more, making sure I didn't miss any areas. Because going live and doing this versus doing it when I'm not live is different because I feel like I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking for comments, so sometimes I miss stuff on accident. So I just like to thoroughly go over it. And then, like I said, always, when you can put it on any which way you want to, your last stroke should be just like paint, nice and even. Okay? And leave it alone. That's it. So, let me turn her. Ugh. All right, so you can see the difference, half and half. My throat is, I swear I have a frog in there today. I'm sorry, guys. So half and half, this has been sanded back with 220 and sealed. This has just been charred. And then I will go over this and sand it with 220 and then seal it, and it will look like this. There are 2 leaves, however you want to say it, that go in here that are not in here. I haven't decided if I'm going to put them in there or not. Probably not, just because I don't feel like redoing all that again. So she is what she is. I will obviously go back and paint the lip of the table underneath. But for right now, that is good. Now, this has already been cleaned. Okay. She may or may not stand evenly. My garage is kind of wonky. I get that a lot. I'm like, is there furniture crooked? I'm like, no, my garage is. When they poured the concrete in here, they didn't do exactly the best job ever. So let's talk about preparation for this. So I went over this with just a little sanding sponge. Here, I'll actually just show you the whole process. Even though I did it, I'll do it again, okay? Just to kind of give you guys exactly how to prepare your table legs so that your paint does not chip off and that you can ensure to have durability and it will last for a long time. So the Dixie Belle sanding sponges, you can buy them individually or you can buy them in 3 packs. I love them. They're foam on the backside so I don't tear up my fingers, which makes me very, very happy. Okay. So you're gonna take your leg, right? And we're just gonna, that's it. We're not doing anything crazy. That's it, okay? Take some paper towel. I'm just gonna wipe off any dust that laid down there. I already cleaned this with white lightning. You don't need to see that process. Okay, so it's just taking back off that dust. There's just a little bit of dust on there. Just knocking off that glass sheen. Now, you could totally 100,000% go in here with your silk paint if you wanted to from this point. I feel like I need to move you guys a little bit down. Slam on the floor. All right, I'm like Hulk smash queen. All right, so you can absolutely use your silk paint. I prefer to prime my furniture. It is just something that I like to do. I sell all my furniture, so I want to make sure that I have that extra layer of protection, and I absolutely will seal it as well. Okay, I did tint my slick stick. You can do that. I just tinted mine a little bit gray. I'm gonna come in, and I am not going to do like full coverage. If I was painting, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like seriously, I am just going to very lightly, I'm just giving my paint something to kind of grip onto. So this doesn't have to be perfect. If it's not like a whole dresser or anything like that, I know that sounds crazy, but I'm just kind of putting it on and spreading it out sparsely. I will only do one coat of this. This is just like my extra insurance, not anything crazy. Right, and I'm using the premium chip brush. You guys are wondering what brush I'm using. I like to use them with Slick Stick. They clean up really well. They're great. I love the premium chip brushes. I use them so much on so many different products. They're very versatile. I love using them with the Terra paint. The Terra paint, it gives it so much texture. I really love it. So I'm just going to throw that on there super fast. Just like that. And just come on over. And see, it's not perfect. It's like barely on there, which is fine. It'll dry super fast. By the time I'm done painting this other leg, this will be dry. All right. If you hear my dogs bark, someone just pulled in the driveway, so I apologize for that. They're jerks. They like to bark at everything. I even went and got one of those little things that, like, it doesn't hurt them, but like it makes a high frequency noise when they bark. And the only one that barks is my little one, so it's kind of not fair to the other dogs. But you think the other dogs would be like, "Hey, stop barking," and they would listen, or she would listen. But that's not the case. So I bought one of those little high frequency, like it looks like a birdhouse, and it's supposed to stay. It is supposed to make that noise, so she like it'll deter her from barking. So like she'll bark, and then it'll go make the noise, and then she'll like, you can tell she'll like pull her ears back because she doesn't like the noise, and it's supposed to make them so they don't want to bark. So because when I put her on the porch, that's all she does is bark, and my poor neighbors, I'm sure they hate me. So anyway, we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna open up this one I did before already, and it's dry. And see, looks just like that. I didn't do like a crazy coat on here, although I did just get something on the bottom of it. Paper towel. Okay, so we're gonna leave that. Give this a good shake. This one hasn't been opened yet. I already shook it like really, really well before, but that's not gonna do it again. Come on. I love opening up new paint. Is it just me? Do you guys like opening up new paint too? It makes me very happy. I'm like, ooh, new paint. Love it. All right. And my favorite thing, now, I don't want to jinx myself, but when you get that whole piece off on that like first swoop, and then you can just scrape all that goodness off, so you know you got like that extra little bit. All right. I am a creature of habit. I like to mist my brushes. You do not have to mist your brush with silk paint. You don't have to mist it all. I just want my brush just a little bit damp, just because I want to make sure there's nothing in there. Again, creature of habit. It's what I do. I'm going to take this beautiful paint. This is the Silk All-in-One and Oyster. And I'm just going to pop this on my knee and just give this a beautiful coat. Now, I will be applying 2 coats, possibly 3, depending. I usually do 2 full coats and then like a third for like spot coverage because I'm going to miss spots. It's inevitable. I do. I like all these little under circles and parts like that. So, and I'm just going in very, very lightly. And I know they say with the silk paint, you want to paint heavier. I'm a creature of habit. I'm such a light painter that I usually will do more coats than not because of that. And that's fine. You paint how, like, barely any paint on there, right? You paint however you want to. There is no wrong. There is no right. It's art. It's painting. It's not that serious. I'm just showing you my way. And if that works for you, fantastic. Or use my way and adapt it to make your own, which is, you know, when we all first started painting, we copied people and learned from them. And then you kind of adapt what works best for you. And then you go from there. So by all means, what I am doing is not the only way to do it. I did not invent paint. Although that'd be kind of cool. I'd be very rich. All right. Here we go. And again, very lightly. I'm going to pop this around. I love the oyster because it's not white and it's not gray. It's like this perfect combination between the two of them. It's such a beautiful color. I really love it. Okay, so now that's just 1 coat coverage, right? It's pretty good. So now how I do my little spindle parts. Oh, and the paintbrush that I'm using the flat medium. So it's the 1.5. All right, and then I just have right here, and I'm going to paint up and down and back and forth. And I feel like that gets me in those little wood grains a little bit better. And then my last little stroke is going to be up and down. So again, apply my paint. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to turn so that we don't have any weird paint lines, blurs, whatever you want to call it. All right. I want it to be nice and thin. I don't want brush strokes. I don't want you to be able to tell where I start and stopped. Nice light hand. Okay. Back and forth. I like to get in all the wood grain. You're feeling the wood grain. And there are a couple little scratches on here that I didn't fill. I wasn't that concerned about it. It's table leg. This table is very old. It has square hardware, which is, and actually my son's old teacher gave us this table, and it was her grandmother's. So it's a family heirloom. She was moving. She didn't want to move with it, and she said I could have it. So someone is going to love it and cherish it for many, many, many years to come, hopefully, and get some good use out of it. Because it came to me very, very loved. I like it when furniture comes to me very loved. It makes me happy. Her kids had colored all over it. It had lived. And now we're glamming her back up, and then she can have a brand new life somewhere else where she can be very happy. Okay. Think about how many like apple pies this table saw. Homemade chicken and dumplings, all of the things, right? Generations and generations of food served on this table. Because they do say like the kitchen is the heart of your home. I do believe that. All right, perfect. All right, so that's that one. I'm going to just kind of lay that right there. Don't fall. And now we can come back. This one's already dry, so we can come back and paint this one. And again, you can, I guess, depending on how you want to paint your thing, you can start on either end, right? It doesn't matter. So that way you don't miss anything. I like to use the square part at the bottom so I have a base to kind of like hold and spin my little leg around. Again, you do not have to prime this if you don't want to. The silk has priming and top coating capabilities. You don't even have to top coat it if you don't want to. I do, just because, like I said, I sell all my furniture. It's just what I do. All right, and I'm going to come down very lightly. And we're going to go back and forth to kind of spread that out. And then we're going to turn it even more. And we're just feathering that paint out. Again, this is just coat one of potentially three. Definitely two full coats. The third, I just kind of go in and I'm like, ooh, I can see I missed a spot right there. And I'll just kind of fill in the blanks where it's been, where I feel needed. Need be. Again, we're fanning that out, feathering it out, fanning it out, however you want to say it. Whatever works for you. Again, we're going to come over here. I'm just going to go up and down. I just wiped the paint off. Let's fix that. All right, if you have any questions, pop them in the comment section and I'll be glad to answer them. All right, there is that. That one is almost dry already. That's crazy. Probably can get away with putting a second coat on there if I talk to you guys for a second after I'm done doing this. And then you'll see what two full coats look like on the table legs. You just kind of dab in the paint in the little lip just to make sure that it's covered nice and evenly. Again, using very little paint. You paint however you want. I paint very light-handed. My first coat you can still see through. If you paint heavier handed, you may not have to. You may not be able to see through it. Okay, leave that there. And we're just going to tip. That's why I like to do the bottom first so that I feel like I have something to hold on to. But like I said, anything that works for you, by all means, feel free. Make it your own, however you want to paint. That's the beauty in paint. There is no wrong way. If you don't like it, sand it back off, start over again, paint over it. Any of the things, distress it, whatever you want to do. There are a million and one ways to paint. And Dixie Belle definitely has an arsenal of incredibly talented people who do things very differently. Okay. That needs another second. So now, while we're sitting here, I'm going to knock my cup over. I'm going to slick stick another little leg while we're talking, and that one will be dry by the time I'm done doing these. So I'm kind of doing things backwards today, but it's okay. All right, I'm going to do this one, and then I'll be able to go back and paint that one. So intermission. Get slick stick everywhere, all of your legs. All right, mist that back up so I can bring it back to life. Again, you don't have to. I like to paint the bottom first so I have something to hold on to while I'm painting. You can just kind of stipple in those areas. Like I said, it's just a slick stick. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to cover it up anyway. It's just something to give our paint to bite onto. I'm not looking for coverage here. I'm just looking to get this on. Okay. Up and down. The reason that I like to tint my slick stick is because I often don't paint a lot of white furniture. So I like to have a little bit of color or pigment in there so I don't have to go over it as many times. It's just a personal preference. You can tint Slick Stick. You cannot tint the Boss. The Boss already comes gray, comes in white, and it comes in clear. The reason why I chose Slick Stick is because this is a slicker surface. If it was a bleed through problem where the tannins were coming through the wood, then I would use that. Now, if this is a Slick Stick problem and a Boss problem, which you can tell if your paint starts to change color, you can use both. I recommend using Clear Boss in your problem areas, or just clear Boss the entire thing, and then you can go back over. So that way you have your Slick Stick down and your Boss is going to treat your problem areas. So it's not one or the other. You can use them both together if need be. All right, so there's that one. I'm going to do one more while we're here. Because I don't want the other leg to be all sad and lonely. No sad and lonely legs. Fall off my mat. Okay. No sad and lonely legs, right, guys? All right. And we're just going to dab our primer on. I'm a little heavier with this one, but that's okay. Looking good. Pop that down. I keep wanting to dip it in the paint and to move it. I'm going to get Slick Stick in my paint. There was a meme I saw this morning on Facebook that made me giggle. And it was like paint, water, and coffee cup. And the girl had dipped her paintbrushes in her coffee cup. And I was like, oh, we've all been there. They were too close together. It was funny. Okay. Just quick coverage. Get that on there. By all means, you can do more than one coat of this if you want to. I'm confident enough that I just wanted to put just a little bit on there. Just because. All right, let me set you over here to dry. Okay, perfect. I'll put this back in until I can wash it. So I will, since like if you're doing a project and you want to keep moving and you don't have time to like stop, wet your brush on both sides. You can either put it in a plastic bag or you can wrap it in a paper towel, and it'll keep your brush wet enough so that when you go to clean it later, that the paint or Slick Stick or primer or whatever you're using comes off easily. Okay. All right, so this one is dry enough for me to show you. All right, so now we're going to go in with that second coat. It just looks so pretty. I love the second coat of paint with the Slick Stick. With the silk paints. It's just like, I don't know. It's so pretty. I really love the silk line. It is one of my very, 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 very favorites to use. I love it for like this kind of a project, for just a one and done thing. Like I'm not blending on any of this. I'm not adding any texture. It is the perfect paint to just put on a project and you just need it to look good. She's going to shine. She's going to be beautiful. People are going to come in and go, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. What did you use? I love her. I use the silk paint an awful lot. All right, so now there's that. Getting around our edges, painting my leg. The second coat of paint on my leg is looking pretty good too, you guys. All right, and now I'm going to go a little heavier on the second coat than I did my first coat. When they say somebody's talking about you, you're about to kiss a fool. I can't remember which one it is. I think if your ears ring, someone's talking about you, and if your nose itches, you're about to kiss a fool. I can't remember the saying. Someone out there will correct me, I'm sure. Okay, and I'm just dusting that on. Again, I go back and forth to kind of spread my paint out and make sure, and then I go up and down for my last strokes. And I kind of overlap where I was before to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Kind of like when you're shampooing your carpets. You go over the line just a little bit to make sure that everything matches up perfectly. Right, towel that's a little thinner right there. You can add a little more paint. Stay. All right, and so now you can see the difference, stay, between coat one and coat two. So coat one, it obviously is much thinner and you can see through the piece. And coat two, it's much thicker. And then coat three will just be like, oh, I can see I missed this spot. So I'll just go, okay, let me go a little heavier right here. Feather that out a little bit, very thinly. Okay, perfect. And I try to go around to make sure like I don't miss any areas. But again, it's hard, and you do. I miss areas. I'm not perfect, far from it. And when you turn the leg to put it on the table, you're going to see a different angle. So you'll see different areas that have spots that you may have missed too. So that is your table tutorial. So hopefully you can see from left to right which side has the wax on it and which side does not, how like lustrous and like beautiful it looks. It just is very rich. And then this color pairs beautifully with that. And I have some chairs that are going to go with it as well. The chair seats are stained in walnut. They look beautiful in comparison to the set. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope everybody out there, feel free to paint your tables. If you guys do, send me them. I love getting pictures from people that definitely get inspiration from tutorials. So I will post it on my page. Go ahead and send it to me. So thank you, Dixie Belle, for having me here on the YouTube page. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And the products, again, that I used today, if you guys missed that, I used the applicator pad to apply did you see that? I caught that. That'll never happen again. That was some crazy luck right there. The Best Staying Wax, Dixie Belle's Best Staying Wax in Clear. And then I primed it with the Dixie Belle Slick Stick. And then we went in with the all-in-one Silk Mineral Paint in Oyster. So those are the products that I used today. You can feel free to go find them at your local retailer. If you go to the Dixie Belle website, you click up in the left-hand corner. It'll say find your retailer. You type in your zip code and your local retailers will pop up. And you can find all the products that I used today there. They are very knowledgeable. They will always have like classes or fun things like that. So they can answer any of the questions that you may have. And then, of course, you can always message any of us, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have too. So if you don't already, I would be honored if you followed me over at the NTS Design Co page, and I will catch you guys next Wednesday at 10 a.m. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye, guys.